All right, hey guys, uh, happy Monday. Hey, hope you guys had a good weekend. Obviously, things been stretched out to at least May, more than likely through the end of the year. So, just wanted to go through kind of what our schedule might look like over the next few weeks. Going to try to break it down and not overdo what we're expecting us to do. Obviously, it's this class can be somewhat difficult in terms of making projects and all that other stuff when A, we're supposed to stay at home, and B, we just don't have the groups and the resources that we typically did in class. So, kind of what the plan is going to be is to get you guys to maybe think about what that final project might have looked like if we were able to do it, but also to actually look at it if you do still have a desire to do it. So that's going to be typically 1 day a week. So we're going to do that today, and I'll go over that here in just a little bit. Uh, the other days then are going to be either, you know, a MATLAB assignment. I know we did one last week that we'll kind of jump back into on Wednesday this week. MATLAB assignment or some other kind of small project that we can do at home, and just try to investigate some different things. And then if we do have that third day, so typically that Friday, which we're only going to have like 3 of those throughout the end of the year, we're going to try to just give you guys time to kind of put together a final portfolio. We did it at the very beginning of the year, and we really haven't focused on that, but just kind of putting everything that you've done this year on just a single website as your portfolio. Okay, so that's kind of the plan for each week. So what I want you guys to do today is just kind of think about what that final project might look like for you. Okay, spend about an hour, hour and a half today, and I want you to maybe try to come up with the starting point of a design. I'll give you an example of kind of what I've done over our time at home. And obviously, everyone's is going to be a little bit different. I know not everyone has something physical that they wanted to build, but just can we come up with something that we can model and design, whether we're going to build it or not. The goal of the final project is something that you have an interest in, right? So, and if you guys want to change what you were thinking of and do something completely different, I'm cool with that. But I want you to have something in mind of something that you have an interest in that you might want to build or design or think about, right? And can we start that process of what that might look like? Okay, so you guys know, kind of pull this up. Earlier in the year, I kind of showed you guys this where, we were building a playground just at our house for the kids to play on. This is kind of what we had to begin with, right? And so Mrs. Ellis and I, we just had discussions of like, okay, we knew we were going to have at least a third tower, and so we kind of finished it over spring break and over this past week as well. What was that going to look like? What was our final design of the project going to look like? And so it was funny. One night, and so this is a tool that you guys can use because I know not everyone is going to have design software at their house. Not everyone has Autodesk Inventor, but Tinkercad is a very useful free web-based resource that you guys can have. And so what I did one night, once the kids went to bed, is I kind of mapped out, okay, here's what I think the playground should look like, right? We had these 2 towers already built. These 2 towers already built. We wanted monkey bars and a bridge across. None of the decking is on here, so that's kind of why it looks like that. And then we had a slide here, a twirly slide there, and then, kind of have some climbing walls up to the top there. So that's kind of what I had. And, I was putting together my vision there. And then just to show you, actually, the next morning I woke up and Mrs. Ellis had done this with popsicle sticks, right, and hot glue. And it was very funny to me, just that we kind of were both on the same lines of like, okay, we need to build something as a model to help us represent that, right? So this was her example of that. Some of it was funny to me just because some conversations I've had with Mr. Roscoe, for those from Scioto or Jerome, of building models with hot glue and how he feels about that. But I wanted to show you then, what came of that. So this is kind of our final, or I guess not completely done, but we have, this is the process where we have that third design. And really one of the things that we wanted for that third design was kind of multiple tiers, right? So we could go from here to there. And so we built that into the design, right? And it was really, really helpful of me sitting down and taking about an hour and a half to 2 hours, maybe even a little bit more, of building that design to actually have in my head. I had in my head of what I wanted, but to have in my head like what this really should look like and how it should go together. Um, it was really, really useful. And so here's kind of why we like that. We like the idea of the kids kind of getting out and jumping and, um, not just climbing up ladders and stuff, but jumping up and down and kind of going from one space to the next. And that might not be loading just because we're recording and stuff right now. But um, yeah, so you can see him there. It's climbing up. And we really like that idea of just kind of doing a bunch of different stuff with the slides there. And so we have the climbing walls kind of all done now, and everything's pretty much done, and phase 2 is done. There's still a little bit that we're going to do, but um, having that model, having that design was really helpful, and scaling it to what it should be. All these boards are exactly what they should be. 2x4 is really 1.5 by 3.5. So it's really helpful to kind of fit things together and to know, okay, how many boards did I need here, right? I needed 9 boards here to fit across that 5-foot space. So that was really helpful. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is come up with something that you wanted to do, right? Whether it was building ski trick equipment, right? Whether it was building a mini engine, whether it was building a rocket straightening device. But what was something that you wanted to do? And I want you to model it using either Autodesk or using just Tinkercad. I use Tinkercad just because I don't have Autodesk. I don't have a Mac version or a partition on my computer. I don't have a Windows. And I don't have a Windows at home, so I just use Tinkercad. I'm sure there's any software that you guys have. And I want you to spend about an hour or so and think about the project, think about what you would want to do, and kind of start putting something together, okay? Don't overthink it. We're going to do this one day each week of just building a little bit to this. And if this is something that you end up doing, that's awesome. Like, I think it could be great. Obviously, hardware stores are still open. I'm not saying that you go out and need to do this. That's definitely not what I'm saying right now. But just have something that you have an interest in doing, right? What is something that you want to do maybe this summer, next school year, anytime? What's something that you have an interest in that you want to maybe put some thought into and some time designing and thinking about how this could be looking, okay? And what I'll do is each week, we won't do it today, but each week I'll kind of ask you guys just to check in and share of what you've been doing and what your thoughts are. And we might do a little bit different version of that, but I just want you guys to start this process now, just to get a sense of what you're thinking and, starting to get something developed, okay? Hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know. It's very open-ended, but again, I just want you to start thinking about designing or building something that you might have an interest in. All right.